Well, another dynamic week here in the Storm Team Weather Center. A lot of rain, then we're seeing a lot of high winds, then we're seeing temperatures up into the 70s, and we're expecting some of that colder weather to make its way in by the weekend. Believe it or not, I had my sensors get knocked out as we made our way down to those freezing temperatures. Boy, you heard that wind really pick up last night. You still saw some of those breezy conditions, and then finally everything kind of gets back up to power, and we leveled out in those 50s right now. We're already beginning that cool down. Now, it's not going to get much warmer than that tomorrow. Could see highs up in those mid-60s before they really start to drop down below that freezing mark. Steven has definitely been tracking this storm all week. We've been talking about it. Right now, 56 in San Angelo, and everybody else joining us in a mixture of those 50s, and we're getting a good idea across the entire Concho Valley because this cold weather is definitely already on its way. Now, we're seeing a good temperature spread across the entire region, about 6 degrees or so, 52 in Sterling City, 58 in Junction, good 6 degrees across the entire region, but those blues off to the northwest let us know that that cold weather is slowly going to leach its way down here. It's been dry all week, seeing those dew points really hang out in those teens. Now they're down into those single digits, some of those at 13 and 10 off there to the east, but those moisture values, those humidity indices still staying relatively dry, could really increase as we make our way towards Monday. Had one of my forecasters point out some pretty significant moisture going to make its return into the Concho Valley by then. Could see some colder temperatures. Negative 16 right now in Billings, 33 there in Denver, 56 down here in the Concho Valley. Everybody's going to be very grateful that they're going to be here in Texas because the rest of the country has seen tornadoes, rain, flash flooding, lots of snow, ice across the entire area. And here in the Concho Valley, just cold weather. Now, we're going to continue to watch some of this moisture. This is what we're looking for. Make its way in off the west coast as it replaces a lot of that moisture that's making its way off to the east coast where they've seen a lot of tornadoes. Now, the upper level pattern really giving you a good idea of where we're going to see this troughing make its way in. We were talking about seeing a lot of these low pressure systems decay over the Hudson Bay, and that's what will continue to give us a lot of that troughing. You see this ridging making its way in. That's what could push us up into the 60s by next week before everything starts to become more straight line and we level back out for more of those average temperatures. But you look off to the west, the next storm already on its way. It's just going to be round after round this entire winter. Right now, we're watching a lot of this cold air really hang off more towards the north as these storms continue to explode across the Michigan Peninsula. And of course, we're watching a lot of these clouds make their way across the Rocky Mountains. This is going to be our snowstorm that we're looking for. Over the next 24 hours and the rest of this weekend, we're going to continue to watch this snow really make its way down the Rocky Mountains. So if you have to do any traveling, let's see if you can't just hold off on it for the rest of the weekend and begin next week. We're going to continue to watch this snow really make its way down across Wyoming, Colorado. Now, get a good look as we make our way in from the east. This is Monday or Sunday morning. You're going to see a lot of this moisture return from the Gulf Coast, and then it kind of gets more widespread going into Sunday afternoon. Then we make our way into Sunday evening. That's widespread icing that could push off. Now, the model confidence is pretty low on this one, about 16%. And other places like National Weather Service still holding those percentages pretty low. So it could just be like a good icing across the entire area. But nothing that's going to concern us as far as dangerous conditions. But if you don't have to move this weekend, let's go ahead and hold off. So tonight, again, dropping back down into those freezing temperatures. Tomorrow, still a little bit warmer, but that cold air is definitely here because by Saturday night, we're already making our way down into those teens as far as those freezing temperatures. And it's going to be here for about 4 days before we start to see some of that ridging really push in and push us back up by Tuesday. We're into those 50s and we're back into those 60s, but those freezing temperatures go from that 8 on Martin Luther King Day all the way back up into those 30s, more average by Thursday. Stay tuned, more after the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.